Thanks for joining me today. Does my set look a little different? It's because it is. There is construction going on all over my neighborhood, and today a jackhammer. And I had a guest scheduled today, and I don't like to waste people's time and break appointments, so I thought, let me go find the quietest place in the house, which happens to be my son's closet. And I at least have the door open so the background's white. I don't know. But let's just bring Linda Haglund here to the show. You all know and love her from the executive director of the Wenatchee Downtown Association. And we're here to talk about everything downtown and just see what's in store for all of us this coming spring and summer. Hi. Thanks for your patience and flexibility.
Okay, I just love it. I'm sorry, it's probably one of my favorite interview Zooms of the whole stinking year, because you do what we all are having to do right now is find a way, yes. Right? Or make a way. And you made a way today, because you could have easily canceled. I would have been fine. But I love that we are doing what all businesses and everyone is doing right now, and that's adapting. So good on you today, Lisa.
Well, thank you. I was telling you, I at least tried to make sure I had a Texans jersey or something that would make my son proud, since I'm going to have, our audience in his closet here, but he's away at college. He doesn't care. So thanks again for being here, and thanks for your flexibility. So I reached out to you. I saw you out not too far out and about. I think we were at a grocery store a couple of weeks ago, and then it got me thinking about downtown, and my friends and colleagues have started to think, okay, what is this going to look like? And how do you navigate it? Because everything changes so quickly. So let's just touch on, not the whole last year, but let's talk about adapting, as we brought up at the beginning of this segment, and just fill us in a bit, Linda, about what your job has been like and what you've been trying to give the community within the constraints of what we're all experiencing.
Well, we have a small nonprofit, and all industries have been hit, nonprofits included. But when this whole crazy train rolled in March, we had our annual dinner in February. And if anybody had told me that we would be talking about this a year from now, I would have said you were crazy. Yes. But the first thing they did was obviously send me home. They sent all of us home, right? And first of all, personally, I'm a work at work and a home at home person. I try not to cross those. I've tried to keep specific boundaries. I have a hard enough time shutting down without that, but I had to adapt. And so the initial shutdown, I went home, and the incredible woman that works with me, Meredith Mills Hilger, had a baby at the same time. So for our organization, it really was okay. And we are, like many nonprofits, one of our primary fundraising efforts happened to be events, which I figured out pretty soon that they weren't going to happen as usual. And so, sitting down with a very dedicated board of directors, volunteers, we decided we had two choices. We could run and say, see you next year, or we could step in and be a resource and help our community. We have a great relationship with our chamber, so we immediately began to be able to message and talk about grants and the PPP and PPE and all those icky things we had to deal with last year.
Yes.
Right? And so, so we were able to help source disposable and reusable masks. We were able to write the check and then be reimbursed by other grants and CARES Act and all of that stuff. We were able to be a resource. I jokingly call my car, I still do, the Mass-mobile. I have disposables and reusable masks in the back of my car, and not unlike me to stop at a yard sale last summer and say, here, I think you need these. But it was really, really fun to be able to do that. And then we have an incredible supporter in our board president, Kelsey Dew. Her and Binge have Sweetwood Barbecue and Dilly Deli. And they wanted to do something which they did for many nonprofits last year. How can we help? That's what they're about. They were able to find ways to be creative and keep their business open, take out, but they wanted to help the community. So around 4th of July weekend, they did a chicken lunch fundraiser for us. It raised money for us to help offset the money we didn't get, but also then call-ins, Threads that had not closed yet stepped up, American Shoe, Hope Church, and Harvest Valley Pest stepped up to match their contribution. So that let us and gave us the ability to fund our campaign called the Keep It Local campaign. And that awareness campaign, that funded that we would not have had the money to do. So I think over the course of the year, Lisa, I think the thing I'm most excited and proud about is we found a way. And so we focus now, this year focus from my board is we want to be about recovery, resiliency, and a resource. So everything we're doing this year is really targeted to that. Saying that, we did a Sweethearts Date Night, which is super fun. We did this take-home Sweethearts dinner. We actually sold 36, which I was pretty excited. And that money went directly back to the restaurants, the wineries, and our sweet treat to give them a little bit of boost before we had gone into phase 2. The other thing we did is we gave people an opportunity to buy an additional $25 gift card. 9 people did that from 9 different stores downtown. Might seem little, but sometimes it's the little things.
It is that, you know, when you say a little, if everyone does a little, you know, if everyone does their part in their little corner of the world or corner of the town or corner of their closet, wherever they are, doing the work that they feel is important or eating at the restaurants they want to support. We're big happy hour or dine out people. I mean, I'm an empty nester. That's one of the things that I try to appreciate about my son being gone is I don't have to cook every night. And I'm very social. We're a social couple. And so my boyfriend and I, and so I've missed that. And now getting to go out and seeing the way some of the restaurants have been so innovative and creating space for us to go. And whether, you know, I don't get into whether or not I agree with the rules or I don't agree with the rules. It doesn't matter to me. What I want to know is how can we help the people that are struggling through the rules?
I know, and I've said through this whole thing, I don't have the luxury of an opinion. Right? I get to do exactly what I need to do to help these businesses stay open and do the best of their ability. You are spot on right. And so what can we do? And honestly, what I love about this place, what did I hear more than anything? What can we do to help?
Yes.
How can we help? And still, so the Keep It Local campaign really made a significant difference. It was just one of many tools that the whole community rallied to buy locally when they could. We knew people weren't going to 100% buy locally. You can sit at home on your couch and do all your shopping. We get it. But people made a conscious decision to do a little bit local. Some did a lot local. It made a significant impact to retail in our downtown and gift cards for restaurants. So if everybody still does a little till we can get to a point they can be, particularly my heart hurts right now for restaurants and our entertainment venues, right? So the theaters, the Town Toyota Center, the PAC, the museum, the library, they get to open up a little bit, but not enough to offset the loss in revenues. So if we all do a little bit and mindful of gift cards or whatever the little thing we can do, it will make a huge difference in these businesses.
One of the things that you mentioned that I want to talk about a little bit in the next segment was your pivot to working at home. So let's take a break and we come back. I just want to talk about how you run an organization that is involved in downtown and you're not downtown when you're doing it. It's a little different. And I had just started getting a taste for downtown because I had an office downtown when this started. So let's just talk about that when we come back. I'm here with Linda Haglund. She's the executive director of the Wenatchee Downtown Association. I'm in my closet. In case you're just tuning in, I'm actually in my son's closet because it's the quietest room in the house. And there's some jackhammering going on next door to the house. They're just construction the whole time. So we'll be back in just a moment. Hi, we're back. I'm here with Linda Haglund from the Wenatchee Downtown Association. I'm in my son's closet because there's construction going on all around my house. And just about 5 minutes before Linda and I were supposed to get on here to record our interview, they started with that jackhammer again. So, excuse me, thank you for your flexibility. And thank you to all of you. I mean, I said to you when we first got started, before we started recording, if this wasn't 2021, or what we've experienced in 2020, I would have rescheduled, perhaps. Never would I have done this show from a closet in my house, but what do? You just make it work. So let's talk a little bit about just the pivot in business in general and what you're hearing as someone who is really, really plugged in to downtown and businesses in our community.
You know, when you send people home and shut down, I think the ramifications of that didn't hit everybody until it hit everybody. I personally struggle. Like I said, I try to keep a boundary when I am home. I try to be home because I could work 24/7. It's just the way I'm wired, right? So I've been very strategic over my, especially 10 years in this job, to try to separate that a little bit. You can't separate it when you're working from home. So personally, I had to figure out what that looked like for me. I had to find a space. I had to get in a good headspace. I had to figure out sometimes I needed to walk. It isn't, you know, I just had to find ways for that initial shutdown till I could come back here to my office. But I think long term, what I hear from businesses and organizations, there is a struggle right now to gain continuity back. COVID, I described COVID as layer cake. Someone described it to me early on. It's so perfect. It's layer upon layer. It isn't just work layer. It's personal layer. And oh, by the way, you might be running a business trying to figure out help your employees. And then, oh, by the way, you have children at home you need to help educate. The layers of this have been crazy hard and crazy heavy for many people.
It's like moving. I describe it as moving. Like when you're getting ready to move, you're excited, you pack the first box, and well, we were never excited about this, but you kind of just get started. You don't know what you're in for, and then you go through all these steps, and there's so much to it. And then when you're done, you're like, how did I do that? I think we're just kind of waiting for that done mark, and I don't know when the done mark is going to come. Like I don't think there's going to be this sudden. There's not going to be this sudden. Everything's open. Everyone's safe. Everyone agrees. You know. Here, let's get back to normal. It's just not going to happen.
Well, everybody wants to get back somewhere. And I think we go on to what business new usual will look like. It's never going to be business as usual. It can't be. I was in a great, hard, but Zoom with the hardest hit industry sectors. So representatives that own businesses in the industries that have been hit really hard. And Elvis Garcia that owns Seattle Yoga Lounge said something that stuck with me. He said, COVID has changed people's behavior forever. And I think we need to embrace that. And what does that look like? For some businesses that have been very successful in this home office setting, some may never come back. So how do you build new team dynamics? How do you over Zoom? How do you build that creativity that happens in team settings? So as everybody begins to look at business new usual, how does that look for business to business, industry to industry? Someone said the other day, oh, goody, restaurants are going to, they found out they were going to be open. And I said, I thought that too, until I talked to a restaurant owner that has to, oh, by the way, try to get their help back. And oh, by the way, try to order food at 25% capacity and get it here in the middle of a snowstorm and the passes are closed. And again, the layer cake, it has hit everybody hard, not everybody equally hard, but it has hit everybody hard.
Yeah, there's some people who've had zero impact in terms of financial, their job keeps going on. Some people have made more money because of it. Some people obviously considerably less. And what we're talking about here is businesses, and we're talking about reinventing ourselves. And, we're not even talking about the emotional part or like what you were talking about, people who are learning to work from home. I had just rented an office downtown, coming into spring, and was so looking forward to being part of downtown all summer and be part of that vibe. You all have created such a wonderful vibe downtown. Mm-hmm. And I'm back home in my home office. If you're just tuning in, I'm actually recording in my son's closet because of construction, but it is about trying to figure out. I've talked with so many people who are just deciding their next move. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's an individual, like perhaps myself, or it's a whole entire business, large company, small company, the downtown businesses that we've all been trying to support. So I think it's an education for all of us, and it's an ongoing education, and we'll hopefully come out of it with great lessons, right? And empathy for our fellow business and associates.
And let me give you some hope. I am shocked at the amount of people who will reach out to me weekly about wanting to lease space and start a business. Oh, by the way, COVID did not kill that entrepreneurial spirit. Hope did not get canceled. And, you know, when 2 new businesses in the middle of the worst of it opened up last year, oh my goodness gracious, right? I said, how does that work? You know, and I'll give you 2 that you may know, the original children's shop and La Bien Bakery. What an asset. They opened up in the middle of the pandemic. I had 2 really significant buildings sell, and new building owners, new money infused into downtown. I just believe that the future is hopeful. And I've just seen new hope. You know, my mom, may she rest in peace, my mentor, the person I wanted to be like most in the world, used to say that spring was her favorite season because it's the season of hope. Haven't you felt it this week? The vaccinations, the sun. Spring is the season of hope. And for our community, I feel that swell of hope that I haven't felt honestly in the last 12 months.
Well, and this sounds silly, but we planted a bunch of trees and a whole new landscape in our backyard last year that we'd been putting off for a long time. And we got the printout from the nursery yesterday about the schedule for trimming. And that seems silly, but I was thinking, oh my goodness, we're going to see this new growth, and oh my goodness, things are going to start budding soon, and we get to see what that looks like because we planted them late, and just all the little things. And I think that if I've learned anything throughout my life, it is appreciating those little things, and to really embrace all of that, not just in times of crisis, but when we start to feel better about life. Let's not forget the lessons and the people that we, you know, want to become through this. So let's take a break. When we come back, you've got a couple events you can share with us.
We do.
Which is a nice change of pace, right?
It is.
We'll be back in just a moment. I'm here with Linda Haglund, the Executive Director of Wenatchee's Downtown Association, filming from my son's closet to avoid the construction noise outside of this room. And we're just making do here. It's perfectly fine. We'll be back in just a moment. Hi, we're back. I've been talking with Linda Haglund of the Downtown Association. She's the Executive Director and all things downtown. You must have one of the funnest jobs around here, don't you think?
I do. I think so. The last 10 years, I think so.
I know you mentioned that in the other segment, 10 years. I didn't think it'd been that long.
I know how time flies, right?
It does fly. Let's talk. You have a couple of events coming on. I texted you yesterday and I said, what would you think about us talking about things that are coming up? Because I didn't know, is it too soon? How do you plan? What's going on? You said, let's do it. Let's bring some hope. So hope springs eternal. Let's talk about it.
Here we do. So annually we celebrate downtown. I always say downtown sits down and has dinner together. And so that's typically in February. We knew that couldn't happen in February, and we had an option for virtual. But the magic that happens when downtown sits down and awards and gives awards, the camaraderie, the family of downtown, you don't get that over Zoom. So we moved it out, and it will be in April 22nd. We can have it in the big room at the convention center downstairs. If we need to open the doors, we can. Downtown is going to sit down and have dinner together. So I have a request for people. We are going to celebrate last year. So we want your stories. We want to tell some stories. Is there a business or someone that rallied in downtown that made you feel or helped you through or did something special? We want your stories. And we're going to have an option on our website to be able to submit those stories. We're going to celebrate downtown on the 22nd. And then we do this little thing called Girls Night Out, right? We pivoted last year. You know, I really don't like that word, right? But we did, but we want to do it. And so we said we're not going to, we thought, oh, businesses maybe not want to do that. Oh, yeah, they do. So we moved it to May 6th, the Thursday before Mother's Day. So we're going to celebrate downtown. We're going to do some fun and a little different things that are going to comply. We're going to be careful. We're going to do everything right. But we want to give the little doses of hope and normal that people want to feel in their downtown. And our businesses need our love, right? So we will spread it out throughout the course of the day. It's going to be super fun. We just invite everybody to keep an eye on our website. But Girls Night Out tickets will go on sale. Banquet tickets will go on sale. And we're going to do everything we can. And then we're already planning for the fourth quarter because that's what we have to do, right? Our sponsors are with us. Washington Trust is a legacy sponsor for Girls Night Out. Heidi and her crew said, oh yeah, we're going to do everything we can to help you. So thankfully, people have stuck with us. They have supported this organization. We're dedicated. We're strong. We're not going anywhere. We're going to talk this year. We're going to be about recovery, resiliency, and we're going to be a resource. So we just invite anybody to talk to us, to just walk through downtown. Even if you don't go into a store, just smile and wave at people because guess what? Spring is here, right? And it's hopeful, the sun's out. It's just so nice downtown right now.
I'm one of those people that goes to I try to go to all of the girls' night things that happen with the different organizations. And I just love, my favorite kind of night is a date night is going to a fundraiser, going to a dinner, going to a live auction. So definitely miss that. I'm looking forward to supporting businesses in that way. And let me just ask you too, we have just a couple minutes, but when you start to gather those stories for April 22nd, would you please share them with me? I'd love to have some guests on my show to share their stories and how they've navigated and just let everyone else know.
I would love to. Some have brought me to tears about a shop owner or a business owner that did something so extra special to help them when they truly weren't comfortable at the time doing what they needed to do to help them. There are some great stories we already have. We know there's a lot out there we want. And this is going to be a little bit about storytelling. And we want to celebrate survival, right? And that's really what we're celebrating. These businesses have found ways to survive. Very cool.
Well, it's most definitely storytelling is my favorite thing to do. So if I can be of any help to you by sharing those stories here. So tell us, just to recap real quick, April 22nd, you're doing a call out for stories.
We do annual appreciation dinner. You'll be able to go on our website and you're going to be able to submit those stories or just send them to our email and we'll get your stories. Then Girls Night Out will be May 6th. And once again, I'll be back with you to talk about honoring our heroes in November. We're going to open that up probably in May for, it's limited how many we can take. Talk about good stories, right? So we're just going to keep on keeping on and find a way. And a little sneak peek, Halloween this year for the first time in 10 years is on Sunday. And guess what? We're going to trick or treat downtown on Sunday somehow, some way. So we're all excited. We're going to get through this year and thrive and find ways.
And just for the people who aren't super sure how to find all of these details, where's the best place for them to go to find it?
So our website is WEN, like Wenatchee, windowntown.org. Or if you just Google Wenatchee Downtown Association, you're going to get right to me because we pop right up.
Well, thank you so much, Linda. I really appreciate your time. And just saying one more time, for anyone coming on right now, I'm filming from my son's closet because there's construction. I can hear the jackhammer going. You can't, fortunately, I don't think. Hopefully not. It's faint in the background if you do. But it is just about figuring out ways to make it work. So I appreciate your flexibility. I appreciate you being here. And I just look forward to giving you a big squeeze.
Well, thank you. And thank you for letting us be on. And thank you for finding a way. And this is all about getting to a yes, right? And you got to a yes today. Good on you.
Take care. Take care. Everyone take care. Do it from wherever you got to do it. Just get it done.
Do you want to become part of the most dependable brand of vehicles today? Then start looking at Town Toyota. Come drive the best-selling, totally redesigned 2019 RAV4. Come check out the powerful towing performance of the Tundra. It's built for the worksite and the weekend. Forge your own path and seek tougher roads in the Tacoma. Leave no trail left unchallenged. Whatever your vehicle needs, Toyota has a seat for you. Come visit us today.